Shalom, good morning.
Shalom, Boker Tov.
Shalom, good morning, Boker Tov.
Welcome back to the study. So today we're going to start the 2 Torah portion Korach, the Parasha Korach. We just read about the 12 spies that go to the land of Israel and they bring back a bad report. And now we're going to look at the portion in the next part. Right after that, we have another rebellion, this time on the part of Korach, who was of the tribe of the Levites. And he convinces some of the tribe of Reuben to join him. And they raise themselves up against the authority of Moshe and Aaron. And so that's what we're going to read today. We're reading in Bamidbar, chapter 16, with Numbers, chapter 16. We're going to read and then we'll have some comments at the end after. And we can say the blessing to start.
Baruch et Yahweh Hambora. Baruch Yahweh Hambora leolam bae. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bahar banu mikochamim. Vanatan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Yahweh noten haTorah. Amen.
Okay, so very interesting portion. So I'm looking forward to talking about it, getting into it. So I'm going to share my screen here. You can follow along. Again, Numbers, Bamidbar, chapter 16, and beginning with verse 1.
And Korach, son of Yitshar, son of Kehath, son of Levi, took both Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, and they rose up before Moshe with some of the children of Israel, 250 leaders of the congregation, called ones of the meeting, men of name. And they assembled against Moshe and against Aaron, and said to them, Enough of you, for all the congregation is set apart, all of them, and Yahweh is in their midst. Why then do you lift up yourselves above the assembly of Yahweh? And when Moshe heard, he fell on his face and spoke to Korah and all his company, saying, Tomorrow morning Yahweh shall make known who is his and who is set apart, and bring him near to him, and let him bring near to him the one whom he chooses. Do this, take fire holders, Korah and all your company, and put fire in them, and put incense in them before Yahweh tomorrow. And it shall be that the one whom Yahweh chooses is the set apart one. Enough of you, sons of Levi. And Moshe said to Korah, Hear now, you sons of Levi. Is it little to you that the Elohim of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to perform the service of the dwelling place of Yahweh, and to stand before the congregation to serve them, and that he has brought you near to himself, you and all your brothers, the sons of Levi, with you, yet you seek the priesthood as well?
Okay, let's hear that in the Hebrew. She read the verse 10. Let's go ahead and hear that in the Hebrew. Here we go.
Korach ben Yishar ben Kehat ben Levi, ודתן ואבירם בני אליאב, ואון בן פלט בני ראובן, ויקומו לפני משה, ואנשים מבני ישראל 50 ו200, נשיאי עדה, קריאי מועד, אנשי שם. ויקהלו על משה ועל אהרון, ויאמרו עליהם, רב לכם, כי כל העדה כולם קדושים, ובתוכם אדוני. ומדוע תתנשאו על קהל אדוני? וישמע משה, וידבר אל קורח ואל כל העדה, ויודע אדוני את אשר לו, ואת הקדוש אליו, ואת אשר יבחר בו יקריב אליו. זאת עשו, קחו לכם מחטות, קורח וכל עדתו, ותנו בהן אש, ושימו עליהן קטורת לפני אדוני מחר. והיה האיש אשר יבחר אדוני הוא הקדוש, רב לכם בני לוי. ויאמר משה אל קורח, שמעו נא בני לוי, המעט מכם כי הבדיל אלוהי ישראל אתכם מעדת ישראל, להקריב אתכם אליו, לעבוד את עבודת משכן אדוני, ולעמוד לפני העדה לשרתם. ויקרב אותך ואת כל אחיך בני לוי איתך, וביקשתם גם כהונה.
Okay, so we heard to verse 10, and we're going to continue with verse 11. Therefore, you and all your company are set against Yahweh. And Aharon, what is he that you grumble against him? And Moshe sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, but they said, we are not coming up. Is it little that you have brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, that you would also see total rule over us? Also, you have not brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey, nor given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Would you bore out the eyes of these men? We are not coming up. And Moshe became very displeased, and said to Yahweh, do not respect their offering. I have not taken one donkey from them, nor have I done harm to any of them. Then Moshe said to Korah, tomorrow you and all your company shall be there before Yahweh, you and they and Aharon, and take each one his fire holder, and you shall put incense in it, and let each one bring his fire holder before Yahweh, 250 fire holders, and you and Aharon, each one with his fire holder. Okay, let's hear that in the.
לכן אתה וכל עדתך הנועדים על אדוני, ואהרון מהו כי תלינו עליו. וישלח משה לקרוא לדתן ולאבירם בני אליאב, ויאמרו, לא נעלה, המעט כי העליתנו מארץ זבת חלב ודבש, להמיתנו במדבר, כי תשתרר עלינו גם השתרר, אף לא אל ארץ זבת חלב ודבש הביא אותנו, ותיתן לנו נחלת שדה וחרם, העיני האנשים ההם תנקר, לא נעלה. ויחר למשה מאוד, ויאמר אל אדוני, אל תפן אל מנחתם, לא חמור אחד מהם נשאתי, ולא הרעותי את אחד מהם. ויאמר משה אל קורח, אתה וכל עדתך היו לפני אדוני, אתה בהם ואהרון מחר. ותיקחו איש מחתתו, ונתתם עליהם קטורת, והקרבתם לפני אדוני איש מחתתו, 50 ו200 מחתות, ואתה ואהרון איש מחתתו.
Okay, verse 19.
So each one took his fire holder and put fire in it and laid incense on it and stood at the door of the tent of meeting with Moshe and Aaron. And Korach assembled all the congregation against them at the door of the tent of meeting. Then the steam of Yahweh appeared to all the congregation. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, Separate yourselves from the midst of this congregation, and let me consume them in a moment. But they fell on their faces and said, O El, Elohim of the spirits of all flesh, when one man sins, are you wroth with all the congregation? And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the congregation, saying, Move away from around the tents of Korach, Dathan, and Abiram. So Moshe rose up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spoke to the congregation, saying, Please turn away from the tents of these wrong men. Do not touch whatever belongs to them, lest you be consumed in all their sins. Then they moved away from around the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the door of their tents with their wives and their sons and their little children. And Moshe said, By this you know that Yahweh has sent me to do all these works, that they are not from my own heart. If these die, as all men do, or if they are visited, as all men are visited, then Yahweh has not sent me. But if Yahweh creates what is unheard of, and the earth opens its mouth and swallows them up with all that belongs to them, and they go down alive into the grave, then you shall know that these men have scorned Yahweh.
Okay, let's turn to verse 30 in the Hebrew.
איש מחתתו, ויתנו עליהם אש, וישימו עליהם קטורת, ויעמדו פתח אוהל מועד ומשה ואהרון. ויקהל עליהם קורח את כל העדה אל פתח אוהל מועד, וירח כבוד אדוני אל כל העדה. וידבר אדוני אל משה ואל אהרון לאמור, ייבדלו מתוך העדה הזאת, ואכלה אותם כרגע. ויפלו על פניהם ויאמרו, אל אלוהי הרוחות לכל בשר, האיש אחד יחטא, ועל כל העדה תכתוב. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל העדה לאמור, העלו מסביב למשכן קורח, דתן ואבירם. ויקום משה, וילך אל דתן ואבירם, וילכו אחריו זקני ישראל. וידבר אל העדה לאמור, הורו נא מעל אוהלי האנשים הרשעים האלה, ואל תיגעו בכל אשר להם, הם תשרפו בכל חטאותם. ויעלו מעל משכן קורח, דתן ואבירם מסביב. ודתן ואבירם יצאו ניצבים פתח אוהליהם, ונשיהם ובניהם וטפם. ויאמר משה, בזאת תדעון כי אדוני שלחני לעשות את כל המעשים האלה, שלא מליבי. אם כמות כל האדם ימותון אלה, ופקודת כל האדם יפקד עליהם, לא אדוני שלחני. ואם בריאה יברא אדוני, ופסתה האדמה את פיה, ובלעה אותם ואת כל אשר להם, וירדו חיים שאולה, ידעתם כי ניאתה האנשים האלה את אדוני.
Okay, verse 31. And it came to be, as he ended speaking all these words, that the ground under them split apart, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, with their households and all the men with Korah, with all their goods. So they and all those with them went down alive into the grave, and the earth closed over them, and they perished from the midst of the assembly. And all Israel who were round about them fled at their cry, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up. And a fire came out from Yahweh and consumed the 250 men who were offering incense. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, say to Eleazar, son of Aharon the priest, to pick up the fire holders out of the blaze, for they are set apart, and scatter the fire some distance away. The fire holders of these men who sinned against their own lives, let them be made into beaten plates as a covering for the altar, because they brought them before Yahweh. Therefore they are set apart, and let them become a sign to the children of Israel. Okay. And Eleazar the priest took the bronze fire holders, which those who were burned up had brought, and they were beaten out as a covering on the altar, in remembrance of the children of Israel, that no stranger who is not of the seed of Aharon should come near to offer incense before Yahweh, and not be like Korah and his company, as Yahweh had said to him through Moshe. We heard the verse 40. Let's hear that in the Hebrew.
ויהי ככלותו לדבר את כל הדברים האלה, ותבקע האדמה אשר תחתיהם, ותפקח הארץ את פיה, ותבלע אותם ואת בתיהם, ואת כל האדם אשר לקורח, ואת כל הרכוש. וירדו הם בכל אשר להם, חיים שאולה. ותכס עליהם הארץ, ויאבדו מתוך הקהל. וכל ישראל אשר סביבותיהם נסו לקולם, כי אמרו פן תבלענו הארץ. ואש יצאה מאת אדוני, ותאכל את 52 איש מקריבי התפארת.
I don't know why the Hebrew part didn't continue. Sorry about that. Okay, so we can continue reading the chapter, and we'll try to fix the audio for Wednesday study. Verse 41.
But all the congregation of the children of Israel grumbled against Moshe and against Aharon on the next day, saying, You have killed the people of Yahweh. And it came to be, when the congregation assembled against Moshe and against Aharon, that they turned toward the tent of meeting, and see, the cloud covered it, and the steam of Yahweh appeared. And Moshe and Aharon came before the tent of meeting. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Arise from amidst this congregation, and let me consume them in a moment. And they fell on their faces. So Moshe said to Aharon, Take the fire holder and put fire in it from the altar, and lay incense on, and go. Hurry to the congregation and make atonement for them. For wrath has gone out from Yahweh, the plague has begun. And Aharon took it as Moshe commanded, and ran out into the midst of the assembly, and saw that the plague had be gone among the people. And he laid on the incense and made atonement for the people, and stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stopped. And those who died in the plague were 14,700, besides those who died on account of Korah. Then Aharon returned to Moshe at the door of the tent of meeting, for the plague had stopped.
Wow. Very interesting. Okay, yeah. Sorry that we don't have the Hebrew part, but we'll try to fix that for Wednesday. So we can just kind of recap and talk about what we read, right? We were reading about Korach rebellion, right? And I was looking at the commentary from the Thon edition, the Chumash, the Thon edition Chumash commentary, and they mentioned how Korach posed, he pretended that he was a champion of the masses, right? So he pretended like, oh, that he wanted equality for everybody, right? Oh, it's not only Moshe and Aharon, everybody is kadosh, right? So he pretended that he was a champion for the masses, when in reality, all he wanted was his own elevation and his own
Interest.
right? And he tried to discredit Moshe and Aharon. And so we see that at this point, the people were probably resentful because of the decree that everybody over 20 would die in the wilderness, that they wouldn't go into the land of Israel. This just happened in last week's Torah portion. And so the people were probably resentful, and he took advantage of this. So he took advantage of the fact that there's kind of this national dissatisfaction, and he did this this time to form a rebellion, right? So one of the commentaries, and I don't know if they're from the Midrash, but they were saying that Elisaphan was placed in charge of the Kohite family, and they said that probably Korah felt that this position should have been given to him. Since he was the firstborn, so that might have been one of the motivations that he had. And we see like the way he formed his accusation against Moshe, right? How he said, it is enough of you, for all the congregation is set apart. I'm looking at 16 verse 3. For all the congregation is set apart, all of them, and Yahweh is in their midst. Why then do you lift yourselves above the assembly of Yahweh? So I see here kind of like truth mixed in with the lie. So kind of how he's saying everybody is kadosh. That part is true, but that's not really the issue here. On a national level, yes, everybody is kadosh, but when we're talking about the individual who needs to be in authority and in charge, that's a whole other level of holiness, right? Of kedusha that is needed. So he's only giving like half of the situation, right? The half of the truth, right? And the rest is lie. He's twisting it. And then he says, why then do you lift yourselves up above the assembly? Like if it was Moshe and Aharon who had put themselves in their position and completely ignoring that it was Yahweh who put them there, right? So he's only presenting part of the truth and not the whole truth, like a half lie, half truth. That reminds me all the way to the Garden of Eden of the serpent telling Eve, oh, you can't eat of any of the fruit of the garden, right? Like he makes it sound like Yahweh wants them to starve or something, like he didn't provide for them. And in reality, it was only one tree that they couldn't eat from, right? So that reminds me of that, how the way he twists the truth with the lie. And the last comment that I liked from the Chumash, the Thon edition Chumash, the commentary, they were saying how first Korah challenged Moshe's legitimacy, right? Did Yahweh really put him in charge? Right? And then from there, it's a short step to deny that commandments come from Elohim, right? From first you discredit the leader, and then from there you're going to end up discrediting the commandments of Yahweh. So that's one of the comments. Like, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add.
Well, how Abba can see the intention of the heart, the kavanah, and how men who always have an intention behind, of, like Yanai said, elevate themselves, be on a position of respectful authority themselves instead of coming to Yahweh, who is the one who raises someone, or, he is the one who puts people in authority, whether people like it or not. He knows who is in authority and who isn't. And in this case, if a person does it in a way that is unjust, he is seeing that intention, and the time will come that that person will come to give account of, his conduct or her conduct. So we need to be assured or rest assured that Abba, who knows the intention of the heart, will decide who's going to be in charge or not. In this case, Moshe and Aaron had been clean in the eyes of everyone. They had been just. They had been interceding for them when Abba wanted to destroy them. However, if they wanted to show contempt for the law that Abba had given, in regards to how they are not going to enter, or the elders are not going to enter into the promised land, that's not the issue with Moshe and Aaron. They should come directly to Yahweh. However, they don't come. People normally, they don't come, to ask Abba. They come against another man. What is a man that you come against them? Right? It's Abba who places things or people in the place of position of authority. So to me, it's like Yanai was saying, they want to elevate themselves, and they are jealous or envious of Moshe and Aaron.
Yeah. So I was looking here in verse 12. Moshe calls Dathan and Abiram. He calls them to talk to them, right? Try to resolve the issue. And they said, we are not coming up. In verse 12. So like right there, to me, that's a sign that they're in the wrong. And they probably feel that they are in the wrong because they're, I think, embarrassed, and they don't want to confront Moshe. And then again, how I was mentioning about twisting the truth, right? And twisting it into a lie. In the next verse 13, is it little that you have brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey? So they're describing slavery in Egypt as if they had been in the land flowing with milk and honey. So that's obviously misrepresenting the truth, right? Completely misrepresenting the truth to kill us in the wilderness, right? So as if Moshe himself forced them to come out of a really good land, supposedly, to come out of a good position that they were in, to die in the wilderness, right? So completely twisting everything. That you would also see total rule over us, that Moshe is trying to rule over them, completely disregarding the fact that they were put in a position of honor as Levites, in a position of service, right? And disregarding the fact that Moshe is not the total ruler, if you will. Aharon and the Levites, or the Cohens, also have a role to play in the authority, and that there are tribal leaders, that they have a system of judges, right? Because of Jethro, he put a system of leaders, people that were going to rule over, say, 500, 100 10. So completely disregarding that and misrepresenting the real picture here, what is happening. So yeah.
I believe another issue here that they are not considering is that for you to be a leader, you first have to be a servant. And this is the case of Moshe. He's a humble man, very meek man. He's been serving everybody. He's been representing them in the most humble way before Yahweh, being a good leader, and taking all the beating on himself, when Abba wanted to destroy them, he said, please destroy me. And they, of course, they don't see that. And it's like they want to be in a position of authority without first being servants. And Yeshua said that if someone wanted to be big in the kingdom of heaven, he needs to be a servant of all here on earth. So there is a pay or there is something that we need to do before we acquire a position of leadership.
And I think going along with that, if we're taking like a practical lesson from this, we can also learn to be content with the position that Yahweh has given us and with the role that He has given us. And instead of looking at, oh, why is He in that role and why is it not me, right? Instead of thinking of it like that, think about how can I best do my role and my position and do a good job in that capacity instead of looking at somebody else and looking to somebody else.
Yeah, and it's interesting that everything happens around the keturah, the incense, which is something very, very particular that represents the prayers of the people, right? Because the prayer of the people who really love Yahweh, it's like a beautiful aroma before His nostrils. So it represents the prayers, it represents your soul being poured into your petitions before Him. And that's what He says, bring your incense, bring your prayers before me in a way. I'll show you who is accepted and who is not.
I don't know if there's any other comments. Okay. Then we can close with the blessing.
Amen.
And on Wednesday, we will look at, so the next part is the part where with the rod of Aharon that blossoms. So we're going to look at that. Because remember, the people are still upset about what happened with Korach, so we have to respond to that.
Thank you, Abba, for being so merciful and patient with us.
Amen.
Baruch Yahweh Kambora. Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, bechayei olam nata betocheinu. Baruch ata Yahweh noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you for the second part.
Amen. Amen.
Shalom, shalom, and please be the light of this world. Shalom.